Hi, and welcome to the A Quilting Life podcast. I'm Chelsi Stratton from Chelsi Stratton Designs.
And I'm Sherri McConnell from A Quilting Life.
And we are so excited to be here with you today. It is Monday, the 24th, and we have a very special guest with us today. We're so excited. We know you are just going to love this amazing conversation we have, and it is Lisa Bongean. She is so awesome. I can't even tell you, and everyone knows that, but just a great conversation, and we hope that you enjoy listening to it. But first, we are going to have Mom talk about her quilts, and then we'll get right into that conversation with Lisa.
Yeah. Okay, so on the wall, I actually have my 4 square 2 pattern. This is actually a pattern that I first made with our Sincerely Yours collection. And right at the same time, I had these scraps from Snowman Gatherings by Lisa Bongean that I knew would be just absolutely beautiful in this pattern. And so put this together with a scrappy border. I have to say, or I'll get in trouble, my husband actually did some of the sewing on this quilt because I was mad sewing rush, and I pinned everything, and he did a lot of the straight sewing for me.
He did so good.
Yeah. So he's really feels like this is his first quilt. So yeah, that's 4 square 2, and I thought it's perfect because we're talking to Lisa today, so we've got some of her fabric up on the wall. And then on the table is Side Door, and this is from my Home and Hearth book with Martingale. This is the cover quilt. And for this one, I used all different navies from several of our collections.
So pretty.
I can see Creekside and Clover Hollow and Harper's Garden and Happy Days. And
it's nice to implement all of those, the same color from different collections.
Yeah, and Desert Bloom. Yeah, I mean, we've got like so many collections in this quilt. So
it's very pretty.
And it was fun to kind of go with the winter navy theme here.
Yeah, and it ties in so well with Lisa Bongean's fabrics too. So cool.
Yeah. So without further ado, as they say, let's just jump into our interview with Lisa. Okay, so today we have a very special guest from Moda. We have our Moda sister, Lisa Bongean, on the line. Welcome, Lisa.
Hey, thank you so much for this. This is so awesome. I'm super excited to be on your podcast.
Oh, we are so happy to have you here. In fact, we had even talked about it as long ago as like when you were here last year. I had wished that visit could have been a little bit longer and we could have had Billy out here and all the equipment and everything. So, yeah.
Well, I don't want to spring this on you last minute, but you know I'm coming on Monday, right?
Val told me I'm taking her a quilt this weekend, and she told me you were going to be here.
Oh my goodness!
I know. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yep. Yeah, and we are taking that same route. I think we're going to hang out in Vegas longer this time because, I want to hang out in Val's new home. And then we're going to go to Utah at the end of the week. So.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, you're going to love Val's house. It's amazing.
Oh, I know. I'm super excited for her because I'm the one that said, hey, girl, you need to move.
You
need a bigger house.
I know. I remember that. It was right after that visit that she really got serious about house hunting.
Yeah.
So.
I know.
Oh, okay. Well, we're just going to jump right into it. And I know one of the things that we always ask our guests is just to kind of give a little bit of background about how they got into quilting, their quilting life story, I guess we call it. And so, yeah, we're just looking forward to hearing yours.
Yeah, because I love your perfect story, right? Oh. So when we were at a quilting retreat and Sherri told her story, I was just like looking around, like she had like the perfect story, her grandmother and her mother, everybody all quilted, all this kind of stuff. Well, I don't have that beautiful fairy tale story, but I have always been artsy and crafty and stuff like that. And when when I was newly divorced, I decided that I was going to just take some classes and stuff like that. And I was at the YMCA one day. This is how it all really happened. I was at the Y at swimming lessons with my boys, and they were swimming. And then there was this lady sitting not too far from me, and she was hand quilting a baby quilt. And I was like, whoa, how do you know how to cut it all apart and put it all back together? Because I don't think I ever really, like, a patchwork quilt registered in my mind. I was like, putting two pieces of fabric together and tying it with yarn, with out on the lawn in the big quilting frames, that you roll up. So I was doing some of that, and I was making matching balances and stuff like that. But I didn't know how to do patchwork. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, you need to tell me how to do that. And she's like, oh, you just have to go to the quilt shop. I'm like, there's a quilt shop? And she's like, yeah. So like I went there. So this was like on a Saturday. I went there on Monday. I'm like, okay, I need to know how to do this. How do you do this? She's like, well, you take our beginning class. So I signed up to make the checkerboard quilt with a rotary cutter, make the squares, So, I was just hooked, right? So I'm like, okay, I got to buy something. So I bought a pattern, and then I made it, and then I came back, and the shop owner's like, whoa, how do you know how to do this? And I'm like, do what? She goes, well, you changed the whole pattern. I'm like, well, yeah, I took what we liked, but I made it different because I don't want mine to look like anybody else's. And she goes, that's not normal, right? I'm like, what? And she's like, well, yeah, most people just follow the pattern. And I'm like, well, I guess I am not most people. So, needless to say, like within like 6 months, I was like, working. She's like, will you work for us? I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. What do you mean work for you? But so 6 months I was working there. Another 6 months I was teaching and, getting into wool and, then they were like, okay, can you design a block of the month? And I'm like, oh, sure, I can do that. So it just kind of just took off from there. I don't even know how it happened.
Wow.
But, so one of the best things I did was like I said, I was newly divorced, and I was, once you are in these classes, the ladies were talking about quilting retreats and guilds and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I remember going to my first quilt show, and I was just like almost tears running down my face because I did not know this world existed. So I was joining guilds, and I was going on this retreat because with 3 young kids, I was not wanting to, look for the next victim. So I was hanging out with all the quilters and just having fun.
Right.
Right? I didn't want anything to do with that. I just wanted to sew and create and be with my family. So yeah, but it just kind of happened, and it was awesome. Like I couldn't have written it any better, really, how it happened. So
yeah, it's amazing. And you're so lucky in Wisconsin. There's so many quilt shops. It seems like.
Right, and I don't want to brag or anything, but we might have the best quilt shops in the country here.
Yeah.
So Wisconsin is definitely, if you want to see great quilt shops, I can name 2 of them off the top of my head. JJ Stitches in Madison or Sun Prairie, and then there's Jeannie's shop in Country Sampler in Spring Green. And then, of course, Primitive Gatherings has a new shop, but we'll talk about that a little later. But, yeah, we have the mecca of great quilt shops. And all these quilt shop owners are also fabric designers, too. So
Yeah, I know. Oh, I mean, I haven't been back there since 2013, but I'm looking forward to getting back there this summer.
I know. I'm so excited that all the Moda sisters are coming back.
Yes. So,
what about you, Chels? Are you coming?
Hey, I'm totally there.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd be there in a heartbeat. I would.
Us old ladies like to hang out with you young chicks.
Hey, I want to hang out with you guys. I'm there.
Yeah.
So I should email and put her on the waiting list if somebody cancels.
You should.
Yes. Or maybe we can have a retreat where you guys are the featured designers, and we bring all your posse in here and have a retreat with them and hang out with you guys for a long weekend or a week.
Yeah.
We can get that on the book.
Oh my goodness.
That would be amazing.
That would be so fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so now that you've told us kind of how you got into quilting, what about how you decided to open your shop? Like, that's such a big step.
Yeah, it was, because I was working 12-hour swing shift in a paper mill. So, and that's where I met my husband, Nick. I did finally succumbed to getting married again. It was not. If you hang out with me a little more, I'll tell you a little bit more about it. But he was very adamant about getting married and hanging out with me, and I was not so sure. But he bought me a Bernina sewing machine when we were dating, so I had to marry him.
Yes.
I mean, would you agree that was me? That meant that was something worthy of breaking my rule.
Yes.
Never getting married again. Yeah.
Yeah. But, when I heard that, I was like, oh, she did the right thing.
I already knew he was a good one, but I did not know about this little bit of information. So he really is a good one.
Yeah, he would say, hey, you go do your quilting thing, I'll do the dishes. Or you go do your quilting thing, and I'll take the kids to practice. So, yeah, he was super, very vital in me becoming creative and me becoming, what I've done and what I can accomplish. And then when my father passed away in 2003, and when that happened, I was, my kids were Lance was just about going to be in high school, and they were all in sports, and Nick was their coach and a ton of things. And, I was just like, after losing my dad, I realized that life is too short not to do what you really, really, really love. And I was pretty good at this quilting thing, right? And I had worked at the shop for probably about 5 years, and I decided, if I had a shop, I would do things this way, and this way, and which were totally different from the shop that I was working at. So I thought, okay, I'm going to tell her that I'm going to open my own shop, but hey, no worries. I'm going to do homespuns and flannels and wools and, that type of thing, and reproduction fabric. So I'll be totally different from you, and we can survive. So, so I decided that I was going to quit that 12-hour swing shift job and open a store. And I did that. My dad died in September, and I went to Quilt Market in October and bought fabric for the store, quit my job in December, and then opened in March of 2004.
Wow.
So, yeah. And I thought the worst thing that could happen is, because I never went to college, I'm not a business person, but I think I know how to work hard. And what's the worst thing that could happen? I could always go back to the paper mill and still be a pattern designer, right? So, luckily, I'm still not going back to that job, but it has worked out. So I've been very fortunate to become a top 10 shop in American patchwork and quilting, being a motive fabric designer. So all those things help propel my business and put it into another stratosphere than just, being a pattern designer or opening a little quilt shop. So all those things help. And, publishing books with Martingale, they're the best out there too at making our stuff look amazing. So when you can partner with people, and I have got creative grid rulers with me, doing those things too. So all those little components really help make you well-rounded and more marketable and reach more people. So I'm really fortunate to have worked with a great, great bunch of people out there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's just incredible what you've done and how inspiring it is to me to see like everything that's happened in, so I guess like 2004. So that's like, 17 years, 18 years. Yeah.
Yep. 18 years of quilt shop. Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it is pretty fun. And I still love it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't really need to, go on a vacation and go someplace else. Usually my vacations all include quilting and stitching or retreating and that kind of thing. So it's nice to get away, to remove yourself from the day to day, just to get some, to maybe go hiking one day or, like we do at Zion and stuff like that. But I really love what I do. So it's been amazing. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's like the ultimate treasure too, is when you have found something that you're passionate about, that you really do truly love. And also just, I really admire you because you are so family oriented. Like I remember just picking that up just right away and just seeing how it is a whole family thing too. And I just really love that about you.
Well, and it's, you want to share, you know what I mean? So I'm doing this great thing, and then, you want to share what you do. And if somebody can enhance what you're doing, like I'm sure we'll talk about later on, is maybe my sons and my husband all helping in this business. It can be scary at times because you're all connected to the same thing, but yet, you know, it's kind of a leap of faith type thing. And what's great about this business, and I mean, when we get together, we all share and we all help each other out. Like Sherri's taught me a lot of things too about, hey, you know, you should do this and you should do that, or, you know, so we all kind of help each other out with some of our strengths. So we're truly blessed to have our family, our Moda family, as well as, you know, our families working with us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Moda. We can't say enough about it.
Moda family.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, and I remember when I was at your other older retreat place in 2013, and your mom did so much cooking for us while we were there, and I think I met some of your cousins. I was just like just like Chelsi said, I was just like amazed at your family and how they all pulled together and helped.
Well, yeah, and they all have some good talent too. You know what I mean? So why not use that? So
yeah,
I mean, like look at Nick. I mean, Nick pulled those trailers to all those quilt shows all over the country, and the quilters loved him because he talked to them, he engaged with them, and he was funny, and you know, and he helped grow this business just as much as I did, right? So it's just fun when that happens.
Yeah.
I guess maybe this is a good time for me to jump in and ask my question for you, since we're on the topic of family.
Yeah.
Like you said, but so my mom let me know that, you know, you have sons that have joined in with you as well, and that they got into long arm quilting. And correct me if I'm wrong with anything too, but I was just curious that, you know, did you talk to them about that, or were they more interested in first? I mean, I've been helping my mom more on the multimedia side, and like I mentioned to you off air before, I did do a pillowcase tutorial with your fabric that was a lot of people seem to enjoy for one reason or another. But I was just curious, like how they got into it and how interested they were, or if you saw an opportunity for them, or if you could just talk about that for a little bit.
Yes, that's an excellent question. I'm glad you asked it. So yeah, because how do these, you know, athletic, you know, boys want to be in quilting, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. So early on, there's a lot of, when you have a quilt shop, there's a lot of jobs that people don't realize is happening. So when you are putting a store together and you're going around to all the big quilt shows across the country, that's hard to do when you're a middle-aged woman. So to have these 20 and 30-year-old guys there to help you pack trailers, drive trucks, help you put a booth together, all that kind of stuff, that's basically kind of where it started. So I remember one year we did 31 shows. So we were sometimes in 2 locations at 2 different times. And they've grown up with quilting. If you think about it, if I've been quilting for 20, almost 5 years, they were 7 and 8 and 9. So they understood what I was doing. They seen the creativity. They seen the joy it brought me. And they wanted to be a part of it. So I needed them. They needed a great job. And hauling, that's a lot of responsibility to drive, you know, quilts from Wisconsin to Houston and all the supplies and get a 24-foot trailer there without, you know, only, you know, 1 or 2 flats on the way or because we overpacked it. But, you know, and they're engaging. They can talk to people. They're not afraid to talk to women or to be excited about whatever. And then, so that's kind of how it all started, is they knew my products because they stocked the shelves with it. They put shows together for us like that. And then when it came to, hey, you know, if we have a quilt shop, what do quilt shops have? Well, they have fabrics and they have sewing machines, and we need our quilts long arm quilted. And Luke wanted to, I mean, I could tell you, like, you know, sometimes in every family, you kind of butt heads sometimes, right? And my son sometimes didn't like the fact that, you have to come, you have to be there at this time, and you only had this much time for lunch. And then, he was like, he didn't like my rules sometimes. So he took off on me and went to California
I remember.
And he hooked up with a long arm quilting company. All right, because he had, we had some friends, and so he hooked up with, let me think, Tin Lizzy. So he was selling Tin Lizzy long arms, right? And so that lasted for a little while, and then guess what? He wanted to come back because it wasn't so bad working for your family, okay? And so now he's back, and him and Jake really have embraced this whole Bernina thing. We talked about it, and I said, okay, in our new store, if we are going to be, we're going to have long arm quilts and quilt customers quilts, and we're going to sell long arms, let's partner with the best sewing machine company out there that handles all aspects of sewing, whether that's sergers or sewing machines or embroidery machines and long arm quilting machines. So we're going to go with Bernina because I've had a Bernina, 2 Berninas actually, for a number of years. And although I sew mostly on the Juki because of speed, I still wanted to partner with Bernina because they are, to me, the premier sewing machine company out there in the world. And let me tell you, they've hooked me up with a brand new Bernina, and I've been playing around, and
You're liking it, huh?
It's pretty nice. They've come a long way too in these 20 years that I've been quilting as well. So you might see some videos on me with that new Bernina 880 or whatever that they plunked in a machine for me, and I've been kind of dibble dabbling a little bit, but so they are in charge of their Bernina sales, the Bernina long arms, the Bernina. So they're kind of like their own little business inside my business. So I really love the fact that they have their own responsibilities. So I don't have to just be boss. I can be mom, and they have their goals, their quotas, their own things set, and they can be a big part of this as well. And I really appreciate that added extra aspect that we have in the store because I can't do it all. I want to make quilts and design quilts. I don't want to be doing all that paperwork, all that, showing somebody how to use a machine and all that kind of stuff. So we are great partners, and I really am thankful that they are interested, and they are. If you watch any of Luke's videos about long arm, you can see how passionate he is about it. Jake's a little bit more reserved, and he's the technician. He's the one that puts them together, and he's the one that cleans and oils and fixes. And Luke's the salesman. You can tell that all day long. But, so they both have good qualities, so they can work together in that. So I am very, very proud of them.
I was going to say that now that you mentioned that, I have seen a video with him talking about the quilting, and I could tell that he was very passionate about it. So, but that's sort of, after hearing that, it sounds like they were more the muscle at the beginning, but now they've come more into the creative side. And like you said, he is very passionate about it. So that's really neat to hear that they sort of transitioned.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, they were never like I don't want to use the word embarrassed or wanted to hide the fact that, our family business was quilting. I remember one of the boys, after they won this big football game, right? He rips off his pads and he has this a Primitive Gatherings t-shirt on, and it was pink at the time. Right? Of course he had the sleeves all cut off of it and everything, but here's the pink Primitive Gatherings t-shirt he had underneath his football uniform that night. So it was kind of funny.
Oh, that's cool. Good for him, because when I was in high school, I knew my mom was quilting. She wasn't in the industry as much as she is now, but I was never gonna tote that around and say anything to my friends. So good for him. That's you have a good son. That's good.
Yeah, but since Nick was the coach, we were our quilt shop sponsored a lot of the high school things going on. So we were a big part of that community in Menasha, and I'll tell you, they are a force to be reckoned with as far as their football program goes. So they're going to state champions. Nothing like Texas, but
I love that story.
Yeah, that's
we
great.
had the little footballs with the Primitive Gatherings logo on, right?
Oh, that's awesome.
That they threw into the stands. Yeah. So.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe next you guys will be like a sponsor for the Badgers or something. I don't know. If you take it to that level.
Yeah. I don't think they need much help.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. No, yeah, I was hoping you could talk about your new retreat center, and
Yes.
I
Oh
was
yeah.
So nice.
I don't know if you remember, but we were together in February of 2020 before everything shut down. We had that little Oregon trip with some Moda
Oh
people,
yes.
and
Yes.
you and I went to lunch before. I think we had to wait for Lisa Alexander to get it
Oh
to the
yes. Yeah.
airport. And I feel like you had just finalized the deal on your land. And so
Oh
you were,
yes. Yes.
yeah, you
Yep.
were so excited about it. Like nothing had even been started yet, but you had purchased the
Yeah.
property. Yeah.
I bought a farm field, 10 acres, and I think I did a little snow angel in it at the end of January. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was right after that is when we went on that little retreat. Yeah, that was
Yep.
fun. I was super stoked because, like you talk about it for a while, and then I had actually kind of put it off a little bit because Nick had a couple of health scares there for a little bit, and that all worked out. So that kind of delayed it a little bit. But when I found that 10-acre parcel that is just kind of almost like was like meant to be. It was like half the amount of money I was going to pay for a different one, and it just really worked out. And I really felt really, really good about it. So what we did was I wanted enough space to put our manufacturing and store in one building and then a retreat house in another building. And yes, they had to be two different buildings because of the building codes in Wisconsin. So that's why they're not all under one building. But and then I wanted to put it on a piece of property that we could continually improve and make a cool space out of. So now we have the buildings on it, and now this summer coming up, we did a little bit of landscaping out in the front of the buildings this year, but we really want to work on making this a complete retreat with, rows of flowers and orchards, and that we can use farm to table gardens for making our food for our customers. So I just really, in like a walking path, and we have a big pond, and that the guys can come to the store and fish in. So it's an ongoing process that we are going to continue to cultivate into this really cool place for quilters and creative people. And I really just want to have this awesome thing, I don't know and it's not just going to be for quilters, it's going to be for creatives, and I'm so excited at what the possibilities are. So the retreat house sleeps 25 people. We have 10 guest rooms, and they are like upscale hotel rooms, right? And every one of them has a bathroom, and we pulled the sinks outside. So like some of the rooms are singles, some of them are doubles, some triples, and some are quads. So like if one person's in the shower, two people can be outside of the bathroom getting ready at the sinks and stuff like that. So we tried to really make it functional, and the beds, I love staying there because I really can sleep really good in those beds for some reason, and I don't really want to get up. I really don't want to get up. The mattresses are locally produced and made, and from the sleep shop, and everybody loves them. They don't want to get out of bed. So, and all the rooms they're not like overly decorated yet. I'm going to kind of take my time and find just the right things for them, but they are. Right now, they're decorated with antique quilts on the bed. So that's the main focus.
Awesome.
Is you get to sleep under an antique quilt. And that is kind of like the sleeping part of it. But the retreat, we have a big main hall. I don't really know what the measurement of that big main hall is, but we want you just to come and bring what your projects are. We don't want you to have to like carry along your chair or your little side table for cutting or whatever. We want to have excellent cutting tables and pressing stations with the seam stations. We have in-floor plugs in a lot of those spots, and you do not need a light anywhere in this building because it's lit up with all these LED lights that are amazing.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, and we just really want this to be an elite retreat house. We don't want you to have to, cook a meal one day. So we have a chef and a crew that helps her, and everything is from scratch. We're not cooking out of boxes. We're not, and she's a very good she's a vegetarian too, so she knows all these really cool, healthy dishes as well that you don't think, I try to watch it a little bit because it can get out of hand. So, when there's always a retreat going on, can you imagine that?
Oh.
But so Erica is our main chef. Mom is still around, but she just can't. She's 74. She can't handle that big stress of cooking. For that many people all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
But so Erica, she's she's a master gardener as well. So she helps take care of our sheep that are in the barn and our chickens, and we're just growing this really cool place here that I just want everybody to come and visit and stay and being taken care of. I've pretty much given up retiring because this is my retirement.
Yeah. Oh, well, like I said earlier, I can't wait to get there this August.
Yeah. And I love that you're making it just this amazing, it's going to be an amazing experience for anyone who goes there, and just so comfortable.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, oh, honey, go shop in the quilt shop. I'm going to go fishing on the pond. So Nick will have fishing poles out there for anybody who wants to fish. And we put in stocked 300 fish in there this fall. So hopefully they'll be growing over the winter.
Wow.
Wow.
I perked up when you said a pond with fishing. I was like, well, really? Wow, that's...
Billy's like, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And what is where is that exactly again?
So we're kind of rural. We're not like next to any big city or anything, but we are in, they call it northeastern Wisconsin, but we are probably 30 minutes from Green Bay, a little bit
Oh, wow.
southwest of Green Bay. So it's really fun. There's lots to do around here no matter what time of year it is.
Mm-hmm.
And don't let that snow scare anybody, because snow can be a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
And but what's really nice about Wisconsin is the weather. It changes often. You don't, once you get tired of winter, spring, those tulip bulbs start coming up, and before you know it, we're in the summer, and then we have those 4 seasons, and it's really fun to live here. And I don't really want to live anywhere else. So it's very fun to come a couple different times of year here to see what all happens.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was going to ask, is how far away it was from Green Bay or maybe Madison, because again, thinking my guy thought, oh, how could I coordinate a trip to go see a Packers game or a Badgers game?
Yep.
So that's awesome. That's perfect.
Really, if it's a December Packer game, I can get you tickets. Those are pretty easy to get in December.
They're not lining up to go to those ones, huh?
Oh, wow.
You'll get the full frozen tundra experience.
Yeah. Awesome.
Oh, that's so fun.
Oh, yes. But yeah, the place here is amazing. The quilt shop, just to see a lot of my quilts at one time is very cool. And, we feature a lot of the moda designers. You kind of all have your own little sections. And matter of fact, one of your Chelsi's quilts just went on the long arm quilting frame today. I was looking at that. So it's the one with the little hearts in the middle, and it's made out of, I'm not really good at remembering everybody's lines, but it's going to be, we also did your quilt pink one too, which is very fun too. So cool stuff going on.
Oh, so
here.
yeah, I'm thinking maybe you did her Hearts at Home with Sincerely Yours, the fabric.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, okay. I was trying to, because I was like, is it Good Hearted or is it Hearts at Home? There's a few with hearts.
It's kind of like it has like a X of fabric and then a heart in the middle.
It's Crossed My Heart.
It's Crossed My Heart.
Yeah.
It's
there
Crossed
you go.
My
That
Heart.
makes sense. Yeah, I love that. I go through the moda stuff and I pick out all the things that I like, and then I make everybody else make it.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah. But if we need to do some trunk shows, so we have like your stuff for like a whole month here in the store. Some of that stuff going on because everybody loves to see trunk shows.
Oh yeah.
And now we have the space for it too. So
right. Oh, that would be fun.
Oh yeah.
So I know you have some quilt along things come. I know you and Val are doing a project together, a quilt along.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
Yeah. So if we want to talk a little bit about my fabric lines, I can do that a little bit.
Yeah.
Right now,
yeah.
shipping Yeah, shipping this next week is our Starlight Gatherings, which is like indigo blues and creams. So that is coming right now. So that is our shop is going to be loaded with blue and white coming up. So I'm super excited about that. There's a book of 10 quilts, and most of them are antique quilts that are recreated out of my collection.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to be going up in the store next. And then Garden Gatherings, which is an April ship date, is the one that Val and I are doing with, it's called Meet Me in the Garden. It's a quilt along, and it should start in June or July. Again, we have that April ship, but we want to just make sure we want to give ourselves a little insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Val's created a beautiful kind of a round robin or medallion quilt that teaches a different ruler in each round. So it's a spectacular quilt, and if you want to, I'm sure that we'll pop up a picture on it up on the in your podcast here. We can get some photos of that stuff, and it's going to be fun. So you only need actually Garden Gatherings it's kind of rainbow fabric, so it's all kinds of looks like scrappy, and we have a dark tower or bundle. Do you call it a bundle or a tower?
I call it a bundle. Yeah,
I call it a bundle.
Yeah,
but I kind of like this tower thing.
I always call them towers, but I know they're always AB bundles or whatever. But I don't know. I call them towers. But so if I say that, that's what I mean. I mean a bundle. Okay. But so it takes a dark Garden Gatherings bundle, and then we have a shirting bundle as well of 20 SKUs, and then we added we needed a little bit more background fabric, so we threw in a layer cake as well. So those are the things needed to do the stitch along. And then we'll be selling the pattern and the rulers, of course, and we'll be getting more of that information after I meet with Val this next week coming up. So super fun to get all that together. But yeah, thanks for letting me talk about that, because my American quilter stitch along with the Hogs for Heroes quilt went over so fun. That was so fun doing those quilt alongs each week. And raising money at the same time, that was awesome too. So if you didn't see that, we did kind of flag blocks with different blocks in the blue field. So that was kind of fun. That was from Primitive Gatherings, if you might have come across that as well.
Yeah.
It's so fun because you get new people all the time that don't even know you existed. So you kind of gotta, I always assume that not everybody knows us. So I like to say some of the things that's kind of going on.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I actually saw the center medallion part of the quilt that Val's doing the last time I was at her house before Christmas. It is absolutely beautiful. It is so gorgeous.
Yeah. I know. I put up this like really crappy like copy photo of the printer, and it really doesn't do it justice when I showed people during our 12 days of Christmas. But yeah, seeing it on her back wall is amazing, and it is beautiful. I can't wait to see it in person. I'm sure she'll have more of it done by the time I get there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Oh. So, yeah, I would love it if you want to join us for Meet Me in the Garden quilt along in June or July, or if it ships earlier, then we can start it earlier.
Yes.
It's kind of nice to be flexible, right?
Oh, for sure.
Go with the flow.
Yeah.
That's life lately, right? We just got to roll with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. No,
and then I can tell you some other things that are coming up if you want to know some,
absolutely
secret stuff that nobody knows, right? That's what these things are all about. Maybe finding something that nobody knows.
Right.
All right, so I do have a flannel line that the salesmen are showing the shops right now. And then, so that's flannel in autumn colors.
Oh,
kind of like my Little Thankful Life quilt that we did that kind of got a panel in there as well. And then after that is red and white gathering.
Oh,
fun.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that'll be a lot fun. That'll be a lot of fun. And then if you really want to know one more tidbit is rustic gatherings is after that, and that's going to be shades of oranges and rust along with the grays and blacks. So that'll be in cream. Yeah, that'll be fun.
That'll be so fun.
That's going to be awesome.
I love how gatherings just works in the name of every one of your fabric collections.
You got to have your thing, right? You got to have that one constant so you can bounce off of that. And, the possibilities are endless as long as it sounds good with gathering.
Yeah.
That's right. No, I actually just saw the flannels in the catalog that just came the other day in that box that Emoda sent. Gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that they're a little brighter. They're just a little tweaked, a little brighter, and not so drab and primitive. We've kind of like just turned a corner a little bit, and primitive gatherings doesn't have to mean dark and drab.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it can be everything. It doesn't have to be. Yeah. And that's what's kind of my whole focus with primitive gatherings. I wanted it to be not just Lisa Bongean. I wanted, if one of my staff wanted to design something that she could design under primitive gatherings. So I really embrace that here at primitive gatherings, that, anything can go. It can be whatever. So
yeah,
I love that though, that you like promote like creative growth for, other people. I think that's cool.
Yeah. I try to find what people are good at and point it out to them and say, you need to be doing that. You need to be doing that.
Yeah. No, I know you've helped me out a lot over the years, just with simple things that you've said that have really resonated and really helped me. I should tell you too, you can't see this, but we have a quilt on the wall behind us that everyone who watches the podcast on YouTube will be able to see. And it is made with your Snowman Gatherings fabric. So
cute.
I thought that was really fun. It's one of my patterns, but it's your fabric. And, so I thought, that's perfect for our podcast with Lisa.
Isn't that good when you can do that? Like, sometimes I don't want to think, so I'll just pull somebody else's pattern that I think is a super cool pattern, and I'll make it in my fabric.
Yeah.
Or the opposite, you know what I mean? Just take one of my patterns and make one of the Moda Sisters fabrics.
Yeah.
Using one of my patterns. So that's sometimes how you can stay in business and still promote somebody else too as well. So I love that.
Yeah. And I feel like it's good for my creativity to do that too, just to kind of take a break.
Sometime.
Yeah. Step away, use somebody else's pattern or fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like doing that too. I feel like it keeps me.
It's a nice pivot, just to switch it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's nice not to always be in charge of everything, right?
Yeah, right. Seriously. Right. That's 100% right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I say to my husband, I don't care where we go to eat. I'm in charge of everything all the time. Can you just be in charge of where we're going to go to eat?
Yes.
Just pick the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. This has been so much fun talking. I just I feel like we could keep talking forever. I know we need to.
I know we could probably just keep going and keep going and keep going, but I'm sure you have a time limit to these things.
It's just been wonderful, and we just appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
I know our listeners and viewers
they're going to love this.
Just going to love this conversation. Yeah.
Well, anytime you want me to come back on and talk about anything, I can talk, I guess. So,
we definitely want you to be back on.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about some quilting, more specific quilting things like starching and time saving and mass cutting and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, in fact, we didn't even get to that.
Idea.
I was going to ask you, how do you do it all? That's my question.
Well, you just save those for another time. And
okay.
When you have a dead spot or whatever, just push me in there, and I'm happy to do it.
Okay.
All right. I think that's our first confirmed repeat guest.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
Yeah, I thank you for asking me. I truly loved it. And I love the fact that we all can help each other out and make each other's businesses thrive. So thanks, everybody. And stitch every day. That's my motto. Take care.
Okay, so we hope that you enjoyed that amazing conversation that we had with Lisa. I'm sure you can tell she's incredible and so talented. I just really, really loved that conversation with her. So inspired by her. I'm sure you as well, Mom.
Oh, yeah. Did not want to get off the phone.
I know. And we miss our Moda family. And she is just someone I know we both have admired for so long.
Yeah.
But
and that retreat place where she talked about with the fishing and you probably caught it in the interview, but Wow. Yeah. That
Yeah.
I was very
Billy's
interested
face
in
Yeah.
when
going
she
there.
talked about
When
the
she
fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm there. I'll be
Yes.
there.
Absolutely.
No, that's so cool that she created a space that can invite everyone
Right.
to come and be with there in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So,
And we'll also have all the links to her, everything
Yeah.
you need to find her in the description below as well,
Yeah.
including her YouTube channel,
Yes.
which she's been
Right.
doing more lately.
yeah.
Okay.
So next week's episode is a special 5th Monday episode, January 31st. It will be a listener questions episode. So we're excited about that, to have an extra one. So we will see you then.
Thanks so much for stopping by.